What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? We are here back again. B.M.B. Tell it like it is to talk about what's going on in this world and in our news. And hey, your man Brent is right here. You got your man Mel-Bone. Sorry, what's going on? And we got Braxton. What's going on, B?
What's up?
So we are here back in stride again, like Frankie Beverly may always say. One of my favorite songs by Frankie Beverly, back in stride again. But we are here to talk about what's going on. So hey, we don't have many topics, but we got a lot to say. And hey, it's interesting. So hey, we're gonna talk about the NBA getting back in stride. Uh, and it's been pretty good to watch that. And the normalcy is kind of bringing to, I guess, our viewer, not to our viewer, but to the viewers of that watch sports, just so we can have something to watch. And just been real good to see that again. And then we're gonna kind of dig into what's going on more to what Mildred brought up last week, what LeBron James said about Black Lives Matter not being a movement, but a way of life for us. And lastly, in our very own city, right here in Dallas, Texas, a how should I say it, Braxton? A Blue Lives Trump supporter movement tried to take over a black church parking lot in Oak Cliff, Texas, in Dallas. When Oak Cliff is the black African American part of town. So, and they tried. Let's just say they tried, but they failed miserably. And we're gonna break that down of what happened. And we even have the clips from the pastor, what he said about it, and everything. So, brothers, let's get into it. B.M.B. Tell it like it is. Let's go. All right, Mel-Bone. So, what we got? I mean, how you feel? You the sportsman, so how you feel about what's been going on in sports and in the NBA?
Well, I mean, the NBA it's been rolling right along. I don't know if many people caught because some of the games come on at odd times, but then I think they're starting to start some of them like around 6 o'clock, and a little bit later. A couple of nights ago, the Lakers played the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Those two rivals, uh, and it was a pretty intense game. It ended up being a 1-point victory for the Lakers.
I thought it was
It
2 points.
was a 2 point.
I thought it was.
It was 1 or 2 point game. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was a really close game, and it was intense. And so I mean, even though there's no fans, although there are now, if you look at the games, you see like the players' benches are kind of like in the stands, and then you have other players from other teams that are watching the game,
Mm-hmm.
including like the staff that's working and stuff like that. So they have somewhat of a crowd, but it's almost like a recreational facility type
Right.
thing. Like they playing at the rec. And so, but I mean, the intensity and the competitiveness is is just the same. And although it's a little bit worse on the players because when they talk a little noise to the refs can hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll blow the whistle a little bit quicker because they can hear most of the stuff that they saying.
Oh,
Like I
I
said,
heard that.
right, exactly. And so, but yeah, it's been pretty intense. The Rockets had to come back on a kind of a lucky play. James Harden was at the line shooting two, and I think they were down three, and he made the first one, um, and then he missed the second one, and
Mm-hmm.
one of his players got the rebound and tipped it in, which tied the game up,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like seconds left. So, and they end up winning in overtime. So it's been pretty good, man. The NBA is rolling right along. Baseball's going, although there's been a few cancellation and postponements of
Right.
games due to some players, testing positive for the coronavirus. But the Yankees and Red Sox are playing right now. Matter of fact, so it was just a few games. I think it was like the Angels and a couple other teams that they got canceled or postponed, I should say. So sports has been going on. Glad to have basketball back. Glad to have baseball back. You know, I'm a big baseball guy. I played baseball for a little while. Braxton played baseball for a little while. So I mean, and he played football. We both played football,
Mm.
so I mean, it's good to see sports back, and so and I think soccer kind of held it down for a little bit, but I'm not a huge soccer fan. I'll watch it. I'll especially watch it, during the Olympics or in the World Cup, So, but it's sports is back. It's just a little bit different, but it is back. And like you were nodding to, sports is also a very prevalent platform.
Hmm.
As LeBron James made it plain not long ago when he spoke after one of their games about the Black Lives Matter issue and the movement per se. So I mean, if you want to go ahead and get into that, if you want to show that clip,
Okay.
go ahead.
All right. So
Sorry if you wasn't ready.
no, you good. I got it ready, man. I just gotta maneuver a few things, but I got you. So here is LeBron James speaking on Black Lives Matter.
People kind of use this analogy talking about Black Lives Matter as a movement. It's not a movement. When you black, it's not a movement. It's a lifestyle. we sit here and say it's a movement, and okay, how long is this movement gonna last? Don't stop the movement. No, this is a walk of life. When you wake up and you black, that is what it is. It's not. It shouldn't be a movement. It should be a lifestyle. This is who we are, and we understand it, and we know that for one step that someone else might have to take, or for 1 yard someone else may have to take, and we know we got to take 5 more steps, and we know we got to take 10 more yards to get to the end zone. I mean, we understand that, we know that. So, but also what makes us, it's strong, makes us it's powerful, makes us so unique and unified, is that we have so much hardships in our life, either from personal experiences or loved ones, or reading history, or seeing videos, Rodney King, or just being a part of just the communities that you in, where you just racially profiled from the time you come out of the womb. So,
Hmm.
it's not a movement. I don't like the word movement, because unfortunately in America and society, there ain't been no damn movement for us. There ain't been no movement.
Again, sports is definitely a platform, and he made it very plain about how he felt about how he felt about Black Lives Matter. So I mean, as he stated, is being black in our country, it is not a movement. It is who we are. This is our daily walk of life. So, you know, all three of us know being pulled over by a policeman, we have to operate differently than Billy, who's a Caucasian man. We can't give them any type of reason or any type of leeway to mistreat us. Because unfortunately, some of those officers will. Because of the color of our skin. So we have to operate in life differently. Like I said, whether it's dealing with the cops or whether it's dealing with, our everyday life and with work or whatever we do. We just have to work that much harder and put that much more effort in just to get where we want to get to. So I completely agree with what he said. Like I said, that is us.
To echo, Meldrick, and LeBron, I completely agree. We definitely need more movement, especially with was the I guess with the police brutality that's going on right now. It's got to stop, man. And so um, hopefully, with the election coming up and um, people running for office, that we can get some things changed. But yeah, I completely agree. I'm glad we got sports back. It's good to see LeBron out there and just other players that that you like to watch from time to time. So I'm glad they're using a platform as well, because I'm sure media and other people are trying to get them to talk about other things. So I'm glad they're talking about Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Ahmaud. Because that's exactly what we need to be talking about. And we don't need to lose focus of what they died for and the reason why they died. So I don't know. I just appreciate it. Appreciate Braun standing up and the other things that he's doing. So he's definitely a stand up guy.
To both of y'all, to what y'all just said, I agree 150% with what LeBron said and what both of y'all said. And I never even looked at it like that until LeBron said that. It's for the other people, it is a movement, but for us, it is not a movement. It is our way of life. Every single day, 24/7, 365 days of the year. This is how our life is. And sometimes we have to move a certain way, do things a different way, just so we won't be profiled by the police or just by anybody out in the streets. And, you know, I, the thing I love First Lady Michelle Obama. And y'all remember when she said, when they go low, we go high.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes, that is true. But sometimes got to get in folks' face and let them know you ain't no punk, and we're not going to accept some things, and we're not going to put up with some things. And then sometimes you do have to hit the high road on a few things, and you do have to let God fight your battles and let Him deal with it. But every now and again, you got to let some folks know I'm not the one to be messed with, or you got the right one today. So, we're going to keep fighting this thing. We're going to keep telling these stories that are out here. And yeah, we're going to make a few folks mad, but you know what? That's okay. It makes the conversation. And we'll hear your point as long as you hear our point. So moving right along and talking about what LeBron said about the Black Lives Matter movement, not being a movement, it's an everyday life for us. Just want to show you the T-shirt that I have on real quick. It says, "I still believe in the Black church." So this shirt was made by a Breonna Parker. She's the Reverend Dr. Breonna Parker, nicknamed B.M.B. She deals with a lot of data, like working with data within churches, especially within the Black church, and she does a lot of great work. Check her out on YouTube, type in Reverend Bree or her whole name. She can give you a lot of information about what's going on in our community within our churches. But I just want this shirt went along with what's the last story, what we're going to talk about. How can I say this? This coalition called Blue Lives Matter movement, the Blue Lives Matter movement, which nothing wrong with that. You support your police and your local law enforcement, perfectly fine. But this group, they're Trump supporters, and a lot of them were carrying the Confederate flag in their trucks, along with three flags they were carrying: the Blue Lives Matter flag, the Confederate flag, and Trump flag. So three flags, and they're riding around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's about 100 miles, they said they're doing, just spreading their news about Blue Lives Matter. And they pulled into this particular church. Now, let me just kind of break down this part of Dallas, this south part of Dallas for you. It's the Oak Cliff, Dallas area. It's the predominantly African-American part of town. And in this part of Dallas is where your majority of all your mega Black churches are. So you have Friendship West, where they went. Full Gospel, which is right next door to them. Antioch Baptist Church is down the street. You have IBOC. That's another Black mega church. The world famous The Potter's House under the leadership of Bishop T.D. Jakes is just around the corner, a few miles around them. But and there are a lot of other mega churches, Black mega churches in that area, within 10-mile radius. Wouldn't you agree, Braxton?
Yeah. Tony Evans is another one.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oak
Oak
Cliff
Cliff Bible Fellowship.
Bible
Yes, sir.
Fellowship. Yeah, so
Cannot forget
they're all
about
in the
him.
same area. And that's
Yep.
it. If you know anything about Dallas, you know South Dallas is the Black part pretty much
Right.
of Dallas. So yeah, and right there off of 20, you got all your Black churches, or a lot of them. Not all of them,
Yes.
but you got a lot of
You
them.
got a lot of them. Right.
That interstate right there. So.
And so this group decided to pull into the parking lot, and there's about 3,000 of their followers into this parking lot, and to Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church under the great leadership of Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes III. He is the senior pastor of Friendship West. And if you know who this man is, he's very vocal about police brutality, about Black Lives Matter, and he's very critical of the Trump administration. I mean, he tell just like the name of the show, he tells it like it is.
Yeah,
Right.
if you want to, you can go ahead and show the clip so they can
Yeah,
see.
I'm gonna
Exactly
go
what
ahead
we're
and
talking
show you the
about.
clips, let you see it for yourself on what they were doing. So let's get into that. And this is from the Friendship West page on Facebook
This morning, right?
this morning.
Lives matter. This was not approved by Friendship West. This needs to be known. This is not approved by Friendship West. This was not approved by Friendship West. I need this to be known. This was not approved by the pastor of this church. They are being told to leave the property immediately. This is not approved by Friendship West. Some of you may have been aware that a Blue Lives rally was allowed to happen here. This is not true. They are being told to leave now. Pastor Haynes is here and trying to handle the situation. This is not approved by Friendship West. This is not approved by Pastor Haynes. We will release an official statement later on in the day. This was not approved by the church.
And this is from what Pastor Haynes, what he had to say.
You would update us to when I just left. This morning, there was a rally that was scheduled, not approved by me, and it was supposedly a Blue Lives Matter rally. Person they contacted the church shared with me that this was not what they were told was going to take place. So number one, we were lied to. Number two, what they did after lying was to engage in intimidation. Really sad is they had a black face who was leading them. I understand that there were Confederate flags, there were Trump flags, and you know that ain't welcome on the campus of Friendship West. We have a big Black Lives Matter sign. Our ministry and mission reflects that. And so you are not going to come to Oak Cliff and intimidate us. Number two, Blue Lives Matter, or whatever you're talking about, let me just say this right now. At this point, if you ain't saying Black Lives Matter, you might as well have a Klan rally. Because in the age of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, if you are not, as police officers and persons who claim you support policing, if you ain't declaring Black Lives Matter and then restructuring your departments to reinvest in communities, then as far as I'm concerned, it's a Klan rally. And let me tell y'all what happened. Oak Cliff came out today. Oak Cliff came to Friendship West and basically said, you came for us and we didn't send for you. We ain't the ones. So make sure that you get up out of here. So they had to get up. They didn't get to have their rally because we were not going to let that happen. Let me just say this. Now is the time to divest from policing systems and invest in communities. You want your lives to matter, blue? then that's what you do. You invest in our community instead of trying to intimidate our community, because we ain't the ones to be intimidated. Peace.
And then the very last one we're gonna play, and this is going later on in the day.
West, and I got an update for you. So here's the deal. We did approve a Black Lives Matter rally by undertakers. And so that's what's behind me right now. They just finished a Black Lives Matter rally. That's what my staff approved. What was done this morning, the word is, it was not approved by none of us. And so it was an act of intimidation. As far as I'm concerned, they heard the words of their racist commander-in-chief in Washington, D.C., and are trying to intimidate us. But guess what? We ain't the one. Oak Cliff is our hood, and you are not going to intimidate us. And so the deal is this. We approved a Black Lives Matter rally that was sponsored by the Undertakers from Fort Worth. They had a caravan from Fort Worth over here. They just finished their rally. That's who we support. The mess that went down this morning was an act of intimidation, and they know good and well that they lied. And so we coming for you.
That is what happened this morning, leading all the way up through the day here in Dallas, Texas, on how, like Pastor Haynes said, they tried to intimidate. But there's a 7-minute clip that he went in on, but you just go on our Instagram page. It's on our Instagram page, B.M.B. Empower 3. You can listen to the whole conversation, not the conference that Pastor Haynes had dealing with that and how he felt, and he didn't hold back any words. And hey, I totally agree. You thought you came in thinking one way, you left another way, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You know, this is a different time. We are not dealing with this. We want our equal rights. We want our equal share. We want our due process and everything that's going on in this world. And because we built this country, Y'all took us from Mother Africa, and we came here and built this country. You treated us less as a man, and you didn't even call us a man. You called us 3/5 of a man. And now that we're coming out and we're physically fighting, spiritually fighting, mentally fighting this system, and we're going to continue to fight. So yes, there you have it. And Pastor Haynes, he said, y'all came for the right one. So what are y'all thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of people say nowadays is they tried it, but it didn't happen. So they defended, you know what I'm saying, they defended what they felt.
Right.
They defended their church, and they defended their space, you know. So they didn't want that to happen. They didn't give out any approval, as he said, as they all stated. And so I mean, they wasn't gonna let that go down in their parking spot, in their parking lot, you know, in front of their church, when they clearly have a different stand on things than what their group was trying to do, and what different from what their group was.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just big ups, man, to Pastor Haynes for standing up. As you know, and if you kind of like we were saying earlier, if you know anything about Dallas, and Pastor Haynes really speaks out a lot on social issues and, like you said, policing, anything that's wrong in the community. Pastor Haynes is there. He's having rallies and you know, they have marches, things like that at his church. So just big ups to him. Man, keep going, Pastor Haynes.
Yes.
That's definitely appreciated. We need more pastors and more preachers who call themselves followers of Christ to stand up for what's right. And that's what Pastor Haynes did today. He stood up for what's right. And some of these preachers and these pastors out here, they call themselves evangelicals, are wimps, man. They're weak. They're you know, they're following after a leader, man. That has he's basically dividing the country. And so to call yourself a follower of Christ, it's hard for me to even see that and see these other pastors that support, this person in the White House. So just big up to to Pastor Haynes for what he did. We just need more pastors, more leaders like him, standing up for what's right. That's not going to back down. And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And so yeah, it's definitely needed. Either though, Brent, some things are just
That's true.
right. Like to
That's true.
love your brother the way that you love yourself, or to
Right.
treat him the way that you want to be treated. That's just right. There's
Right.
nothing radical about that. Do the right thing. If you're out here, you hate your brother, or you're racist, whatever it may be, you can't really. I don't think you're a Christian. To me,
Mm-hmm.
just be point blank. To me, you're not a Christian.
That's perfect
You're
way to
not
put it.
Christ-like at all. And so it's nothing
Just
radical about that. It's just doing what's right.
Right.
right,
And you know,
just
oh, go ahead,
because
Mel.
just because we're Christian doesn't mean we have to put up with anything and everything.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
like he said, we're going to stand up for what's right. So I mean, and if you're doing something that's wrong, and we speak out against it, uh, you can't say we're not Christian for doing that. No, we're just standing up for what we believe that is right. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you can't call us or call anybody that's uh, or you can't be holy since you're doing this and this and this. No,
No.
you can't say that about us because we are still human. We're not Jesus. So I mean,
Right.
we're gonna definitely stand up for what we believe in. So
Yeah.
And
yeah,
hey, just like the Blue Lives Matter, y'all thought y'all could come into this church parking lot and do what y'all wanted, and it just didn't happen. You can't get mad when the people that that own that property come back and retaliate the way they did, because they're just standing up to what's theirs and what is right.
Right.
right,
And everything that Pastor Haynes has stood up for is just justice. He's
right,
never went to on evil, to trying to be evil towards anybody or to any group. He just spoke what's right and what's just.
Yeah.
So, like Braxton said, hey, if you love, that's what Christianity is about: loving each other through the ups, through the downs, through whatever we go through in life, and no
right,
hate in it. And that's why John Lewis, Dr. King, Reverend C.T. Vivian, that's the civil rights movement. That's why they were nonviolent, because they stood for those Christian values of being nonviolent, of
Hmm.
being loving to their brothers and sisters.
right,
So,
Yeah.
and you see what they went through.
Yeah. And
right,
they still got in trouble, like John Lewis said. It was just good trouble.
Good trouble.
Civil disobedience. They were nonviolent, but they still fought against the system and the oppression that was
Mm-hmm.
going on, which is which is a shame. But that's the same thing that we're fighting against right now.
Right.
The oppression of these policemen and police departments, who are treating us like, I mean, like slaves, and lynching
Right.
blacks out here. So we're fighting against the same thing, that our ancestors were fighting against, which is the same, because it's years later. And we really shouldn't be having to fight the same fight, but
Fight the
we have
same
to.
fight.
And we have to do it, like I was, in a Christian way or in the right way. But, we still got to fight.
I hope and pray that from this, that the conversation will be had, that, because, oh, I forgot to mention, I guess one of the leaders of that group had a conversation with Dr. Haynes. So I hope from that something good will come. No, I heard it. Dr. Haynes gave it to him just good and pure, of what right from his heart and from his head.
Mhm.
And apparently that group was lied to as well. So, you know,
Mhm.
there's some evilness going on in that other group, that they were trying to spark up that mess. So stay tuned, watch your news, watch the local news here in Dallas to see if that was going on. Watch other black outlet news to see what they're going to say about this, because it's definitely something's going to be said on it this week. You hear Dr. Freddie Haynes on Ricky Smiley every morning. I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about it. Ricky's going to ask him a few questions about it. So be on the lookout for it. Hopefully Roland Martin will do an interview with him on it. So
Mhm.
be prayerful, be on the lookout, but yet continue to fight. Let's continue this fight. And like LeBron said, it's a way of life for us. And we just can't, give up on the movement, let the movement die down, because it's not a movement, because it's a continued fight for us.
Lord, let our light shine, and let us be able to change, be able to be a part of the change that needs to happen within our world and
Yes,
within our
Lord.
country. And so we just want to be able to do that.